I guess I'm just going to tell you why technical training and it's better than every other training. It just because it's clear and more concise. Technical communication is the state of the art of what we have. You know, so it's hard for me to understand why these people say don't use the pager. To me, they're doing an extreme disservice to young dog trainers and telling them to become the master of the pinch collar. Like who? Like who? Who? Show me the prettiest pinch collar work that there is. And I don't mean a Malinois. I don't mean a Malinois. If I had a Malinois, I'd probably get a pinch collar too. No, I'd probably still do it the way I do, but you're doing a disservice to tell people don't use the pager as much as you would be to tell people don't use your cell phone. If someone told you that, what would you do, Crystal? She said she would punch them. So that's what you've got to think of. And, for these people to say, do not use the pager, it freaks them out. That's their methodology. They're basing that on personal experience. That hasn't been my experience. My experience is that you can load this thing up like some kind of flywheel, according to Mike, and have all kinds of movement. And yes, it has brought me to the school of thought that, if we're talking about beings that are, have hundreds and thousands of miles of momentum in there, we better, be a sidecar at the very least, not something that gets left behind in the dust. Because that's what happens to dogs that run away. They're just churning out their momentum, but the people aren't any part of that. So who cares if they're there? You know what I mean? Whereas Freaky just sees me as like, I am momentum. I run, I do all these different things, or I move. And then, I mean, everybody can't really run and do all these things, but, you've got to have movement and you've got to have the implication of movement. But, if you said it is not possible to communicate with the pager, I would say, again, and Mark will agree with me, that's handler error and method failure. That's nothing to do with the pager. It's method failure. And I've seen the method that you use with the constant, and I can understand why you're failing. You know what I mean? Because you're failing with that method too. You know, that one girl got so mad because I said, the pinch collar. I mean, if you're going to tell me you're the master of the pinch collar, show me who your guru is. You know, I don't ever remember Jim and Phyllis using a prong collar. They may have. They used to have these old, like, hunting dog prong collars. Write that down. Remind me to look it up. I don't remember what they were called, but it was a leather strap with nails in between sticking out, and you would file them down. That was very bizarre. Anyway, so that's what if you're a young dog trainer, you need to if you say I'm going to spend 10 years mastering the prong collar, because if you said, and that's what they say, it takes 10 years to master any craft at the minimum, and that's if you're good. If you're going to spend the next 10 years mastering the prong and then jump on tech, what's going to happen is you're going to get these young guns. It's not going to take too many to jump on what's already been done with tech and go from there. And you people that are doing your long lines and your prong collars need to understand the chance of me saying, I think I'll go back to a long line. And there's a reason for that. I would use a long line if there was a necessity for that, but there's not. So anyway, we're getting ready to go out there and do some stuff. And this, strange guy with the chainsaw. Chris will get away to me, this guy. All right, you guys, more updates soon.